Parenting big picture. This is what seems to be lost right now. In recent decades, it just seems like everyone, moms and dads, you're also bogged down with these concerns about parenting styles, different ways of doing things. And let's be real, these parenting styles, they swing wide. They're constantly changing, constantly changing. But let's think about this. As a person who's been around a long time, raised children, and seen the different ways that people have raised children, and been in the nanny world for decades, I think everyone's forgotten something. The parenting big picture. What is the goal when you're raising children? So I'm not good at scripting, but I scratched down some notes because this has really been bothering me. Doesn't it really get down to some non-negotiables? When we're raising children, aren't we really just thinking what I always thought when I was raising kids is it really gets down to health, safety, and spirituality, some form, whatever spirituality you want to call it. In our case, we're Christian, so Christian principles that are going to be in them, spiritual principles that are going to give them character and morals. But whatever your spirituality is, isn't it really those three things? We're concerned about their health, so we don't want them to do anything that's going to damage their health. We are concerned about their safety, so we keep them safe. And we're concerned about whatever is going to build the spiritual inner qualities that we want them to have. But other than that, we want them to go ahead and have a good time. We should really just allow them to be. Yes, we want them to stay out of danger. Yes, we want them to learn to interact with other humans. They are learning to grow up and be adults. There is a line there. We're teaching them character, morals, values. But there is such intensity right now with, I could list 20 different parenting styles. I have the list. I keep reading them. So moms and dads, I feel like the goal has been lost. If you have a partner, you're parenting as partners. And I broke it down into 3 areas that I feel are very important to discuss. 3 areas that really could be helpful. 3 points. But it's too long for one video. So let's talk about point number 1. You are parenting as partners, or if you're a single parent, it doesn't matter. This is the thing you should talk about. As a parent, or as parents, you're a united front. You are a team with that goal of raising the children. It is as if you have a business. Those kids are your business. And raising children together to develop into intelligent, confident, successful members of the human family, that is your business. So get your act together, even if you have plenty of other disagreements, whether you are together or not together, as husband and wife, as a couple, or as not together. As far as it goes with the kids, that is your business. The two of you are a partnership or a team for that part of life. I know it's hard to set things aside, but tell yourselves that's what you're doing. You got these people that you're bringing up in the world, and they need to become excellent adults. Hopefully not living in your basement when they're 30, playing video games, jobless, living off of you, as a side point. You want them to have character qualities, good qualities, morals, right? Values, whatever those values are to you. And most likely, if you were together at some point, you have shared values and ideas and ideals and morals and character. So the first idea that strongly is in my head all the time is remember the non-negotiables and stop killing yourselves all the time. This is what I see parents doing. Y'all are doing so much work, making so much effort, exhausting yourselves like this gentle parenting garbage. I'm at a park right now because my husband is home, working from home, and I can't get a minute of peace. People at the park with their children or anywhere I go, the parents are taking 25 steps to say one thing to a child that is absolutely unnecessary. You're putting yourselves through unnecessary grief. You're making it so hard for yourselves. And I see the friction going on between a husband and a wife to accomplish this. It is way too much work. Don't do this to your partnership, to your marriage, to your relationship. It is so unnecessary. Now, that is coming up in part 2 or part 3 of what I wrote down, step 2 or 3, because I did break this down into 3 steps. It is very simple to figure out, but let's just remember, what are the serious parts of raising children? And let the rest go. And besides that, kids have to take a little, they have to stick their necks out a little bit. That's okay. So if you are at the park, please stop giving 500 directions about climbing on a ladder to get up to the slide. Let them be. Let them do it. Allow them to explore. They build these play sets in a very safe manner. And it's certainly nothing like it was in the 60s and 70s when I was a kid, when you certainly could fall and kill yourself, break your neck. I don't know how any of us are alive, frankly. So you need to be sensible, balanced, balance, balance, balance. This is what I keep seeing that's missing. And think about this. As a couple, have a meeting. Let's have a secret meeting when the kids are not around, when the kids are in bed at night. You're a partnership, you're a team. What is even logical, reasonable, sensible, balanced? Think about it. These constant changes, these swings from one end to the other of different parenting styles, they're just extremes, and they're going to change in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. They're stupid. You don't need to subscribe to a particular style or a specific manner. First of all, your family, your children, your feelings are specific to you. Your children are not going to fit in some exact mold. I've taken care of at least 75 children since 1981, and I can guarantee you every family is different. Every dynamic is different. The situation in the family is different. The jobs the parents are doing affect things. The household is different. The personalities of everybody interacting is different. Where they live, what their schedule is like, everything is different. The dynamics between maybe grandparents or other family members or friends, however they particularly interact, if they're introverted, if they're more extroverted, if they have a lot of people in and out of their house, if they're very social, if they're not. There are 100 variables. Yes, I can give a lot of advice on very good ways to do things from infant up through school age, and especially infant, toddler, preschool, to get yourselves on the right road, to get a foundation laid. But there are so many things that you should not answer to anyone else for. You make your own decisions, and you know your own children. You know the emotional makeup of your own children, especially I'm talking to mamas. You know your own kids better than anyone else. You know your own baby. You know your own child, and you're going to know. And this, I'm going back and getting mad again about the whole experts saying daycare is bad and all this, but to try to stay on topic. But you may have a child who doesn't do well in daycare. That's possible. But to make a blanket statement that daycare is evil is completely untrue, because I've seen many, many kids do great in daycare. Again, many variables. Who are the childcare providers within the daycare? I made a video about the best things to look for right away as you walk in the door. And you'll know if it's a good daycare right away before you start really getting in deep. Anyway, so I had to make myself some cards because I start running wild when I start thinking about these things. So point number 1, please see the big picture. You can be the parenting winners if you see the big picture. Balance. Balance. Life is actually simple if you allow it to be simple. What I see missing right now is nobody has a simple life. Nobody is balanced. Parents are running every direction, thinking they have to take in every bit of knowledge from every source, and every style of parenting. They probably should adopt that. Well, they probably should be this. They probably should be that. You don't have to. Be sensible, be logical, be reasonable. Remember that parenting choices are personal. And good thing I noticed my note. My memory's not the best. Sorry, at my age. And there's not necessarily a right or wrong or a good and bad. This is something I have definitely learned. from taking care of many children. It's a fact. There may be many ways to do a certain thing that are perfectly okay. Many ways. Again, I might be able to help you on the road, to what I've experienced to be the best way to, for instance, sleep conditioning to sleep training or potty training. What I've seen to be, hey, this really could get you speed bullet to get it done, whatever. But many things, there is not a right or wrong way. All right, so that you as parents, you're going to have a particular set of choices, hopes, dreams, that you're going to maybe want to lay out in a pattern the way you would like to see your child raising years progress. So stop trying to overanalyze everything around you. There's too much information. There's an overload of information. Your children are yours particularly. So that is point number one. Let me make sure I check my notes. Non-negotiables, balance, simple life. This is what we're all going for right now, right? The world is crazy. Everybody needs to start thinking about minimizing, simplifying, being balanced human beings. That's what's missing. Remember the three things: health, safety, spirituality. Whatever form of inner qualities, whatever you would classify spirituality as. Other than that, so what if your kids are whatever, swinging from the chandelier if it doesn't bother you? I mean, it all depends how you feel about it. Now, some parents are going to be really strict and some parents are not. Some parents are going to have their certain feelings about things. That's for you to decide. But is it going to impact their health, their safety? Now, they can't color on someone else's walls, but if you don't care if they color on your walls, so be it. Honestly, I've been in households where the parents were the loosest, actually, they were artists. They were the loosest people I ever worked for. And those kids are the most amazing human beings. Amazing. They're cool. They're very cool. And also sensitive, loving, endearing people. They do things for other people in the world. They are giving. Amazing people. So they learned the character qualities. They learned boundaries. But in their house, they could do anything. They could decide to, fill a pool of water in the living room, paint the walls with whatever, colored crayons, whatever they wish to do. I had to temper myself going into that house. But hey, when you're the nanny, you do what the parents want. This is the thing. It's up to you. Did it impact their safety, their health? And if they were building good qualities otherwise within them and they knew not to do certain things at other people's houses or anywhere else, did it matter? No. Let them do it. If you're okay with that, who cares? All right. So maybe kids need more freedom. I mean, everybody keeps saying that about my era. In the early 70s, we ran wild. Nobody ever came home. We were outside all the time. I mean, yada, yada. Everybody talks about this. You don't need to hear from me. So please think about these things. And I put down my card now? Probably. So point number 2 and point number 3. I'm going to make separate videos for this. Everybody's in a time crunch. So let's talk about point number 2, point number 3. We're going to talk about what about discipline and guidance choices. How do you do that? Because obviously we do have to build good qualities into our kids. So how should we do that? There are, in my opinion, I made about 3 good ways to do it. And then point 3, be the parenting winner, be the envy of everyone else. Learn how to give the kids authority over themselves, build routines and habits without rules and regulations and laws that you have to enforce. They self-enforce without even knowing they're doing it. So that's point number 3. So you want to get rid of fighting. You don't want to have all these problems. Plus, as the years progress, they become self-confident, able to take care of themselves. I'm not going to say. There's more and more to learn. All right, so that's points 2 and 3. And then in another video, and I will put headings on these, let's talk about the parenting styles. Just short, just brief, because they're not worth it. They're not worth the time. Because we don't need to discuss all of these parenting styles. We don't need a style. We don't need a parenting choice that we're going to follow. And again, please stop wasting your money on books, classes, and oh my goodness, please. I can't stand it. I hate to see people wasting their money. I just hate it. I just hate it. The approach, the different approaches, the different styles. Oh my. Don't take a course or a class. There are ways to create your own structure without choosing these things. And finally, I'll wrap this up. I'm going to talk about those points. But then, is it possible? I see this major lacking for moms. Is there a way? Maybe I find my note on this. Trying to wrap it up here. Is it possible for moms to build a support group somehow, even if you don't have a support group? Could there be like a support group, a way to have a social connection with other moms, even if you don't have that or don't have the time for it? Maybe you don't have it in your life right now, in your neighborhood, in a church, in a social group. You don't have family to do that. I have ideas. Let's talk about that. Now, I know, who am I? I'm a grandma, mother, former nanny, retired nanny. And sorry, I'm sitting in the park and there are people walking all over. I have to escape my house to talk. So I've seen so many people, and I neglect to say each video that I also have done volunteer work with moms and families in many situations for the last 40 years also. So there's like a lot of interaction there in addition to just the nanny jobs. So this has just given me a very wide scope of knowledge and experience to draw from. I just feel like there is so much of this lacking, just so much of it lacking. Every video I see, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. We could all do better. We could do better for each other. And for me, I'm looking at the generations now trying to raise children, and my daughter is one of them at age 35. But her generation plus the ones a little older and the ones slightly younger, I just feel like you're getting the wrong information, or you're getting bad information. You're getting no information. You're getting misled. And there's a need for like a granny nanny type assistance. There's a need for some old-fashioned wisdom. If you could pick apart some of that bad stuff that used to be kind of back in the day, some of the bad stuff that everybody wants to throw it all away because the bad stuff was there, you know, beating a kid with a stick. But there was some good old-fashioned wisdom. And I think we can take bits and pieces to get some reasonable knowledge. So, as usual, I cannot tell you moms, especially, I can't tell you enough how much I love you all. And I just look out at you all and I just feel like I want to see everyone get some help. I want to see this wonderful generation of children, every generation of children, raised successfully, happy, productive, fabulous members of society, because we're all going to benefit from that. Frankly, they're going to be running all this. So we need these people to be really great people. And I always have loved babies and children so much. And I'm in a health situation where I can't do it hands-on anymore. But if there was anything I could do otherwise, if there is anything I can do otherwise, I just feel like I'd love to do that. So here I am. Yeah, I'm in my car. You don't know who I am. But whatever. This is Coco. Coco, the granny nanny, the retired granny nanny. And let's talk about part 2, part 3, and moms getting some social support, social interaction, connection. So stay tuned for parenting, being the parenting winner, parenting balance, and parenting success. But remember the 3 points: health, safety, spirituality. The rest can be whatever you want it to be. So let's think about those 3 points. Have a wonderful day.